hold on. Let's trim all this. This should be. Oops. Yeah. That should be good enough. Whoop. Yeah, the insane amount of handling is very apparent straight away. So is this your best time, or is this just a time? Okay. This is your 3 lap. 119, okay. See, Figure 8 Circuit is one of the sort of best places to show exactly why not like hard direction hopping into MTs is such a thing. Because like it can save you bags of times on the corners. Oh, you use like the joint in your thumb. Oh my. Oh. No fear. See, the snake in there is fine. I mean, that's clean. It's just obviously you're not as experienced at the game. So, you know, that's all good. No point in focusing on that too much. The corners, it's all about the corners. Like, yes, the snaking can be faster, but it wouldn't be fair to just simply say snake faster because, like, well, you know, you just get that from experience. So, for the most part, I wouldn't worry too much about it. The corner, like, it's difficult to know exactly what to suggest here, other than I would very quickly point out you should have done another LMT before transitioning into snaking, because like when you transitioned or tried to transition into snaking here, you ended up into the grass, and you ended up into the grass, and obviously that's losing you a lot of time straight away. Yeah, neutral drifts is exactly. It's not an easy skill. It's what I mentioned on your stream. I'll try and demonstrate an example of it here. 2 double hop at the start. Let's just change to BLS, shall we? Oh, I've picked Daisy. I meant to pick Dry Balls. Who cares? Daisy. We're using Daisy. So it's probably better to just do double hops if you can't neutral hop, because then you're using a lot less handling. If you are able to do like a neutral hop into MTs, it makes a huge difference. You'll see how. Like, I can comfortably go wider than the corner just by not having a hard direction hop. Whereas when I was hard direction hopping, I was pretty much forced to double hop. Like, if you feel like you need to use a lot of handling, try to double hop. That would be my first advice. But if you can learn to do, like, rather than do this, do this. You can kind of see a bit of a difference. So, like, hard direction MTs kind of looks like that, but if you do it the other way, Do you kind of see a difference? It's maybe not so easy to tell, like to the untrained eye, but like, you know, one way I was doing it, I was forcing a direction into the hop, and the other way I was like pressing a direction as late as I could in the like hop, so that the cart doesn't turn so much in the air, and that makes a massive difference, and it makes all the difference, particularly in this track, because it's what changes you from having to use copious amounts of handling to having to use very little, and at top levels almost no handling at all on that corner, especially in laps 2 and 3. Let's see the shroom quickly. Shroom, yeah, just be a bit braver on the shroom. Like, I found double hopping into it helps me force like onto the grass and cut more grass. Well, technically speaking, if you're snaking, you're better off neutral hopping all the time anyway, because you're less likely to lose time to holding, say, handling. Like, unless you're frame perfect on every MT, steering and holding a direction while hopping is going to lose a little bit of speed, technically speaking. Not much, but a little bit. Shroom is an emergency shroom. Yeah, that's fair enough. It happens. But in theory, you don't want to be holding a direction on most of your hops when you're playing, but that's quite a high level skill. I was kind of just showing it for example, but like obviously if you need to force the angle, that does happen on a lot of places and a lot of tracks, and obviously you hard hop into a drift, but like if not, then you know, if possible, just try and like sort of do it without pressing a direction. Now I always neutral drift. Yeah, it's probably a good habit to have, but it's a tricky one to learn because it does require some fine timing. But it's one of those things that once you get used to it, it becomes automatic. It's just the sort of thing. It's difficult to learn, easy to master, but yeah. It's all about that first corner. The second corner is a lot easier because it's a lot like tighter angle. I'll just let this run. I think that was okay. It's debatable as to whether you would have been as well doing another RMT there, but I see where you're doing the handling there. If you're not able to just go into another MT, do a double hop. Don't do the handling, do a double hop. It will be faster. You'll lose less speed. Sasha drifts on the straight, preferably, I would say. Hold on, I'll try and show you an example. Yeah, I get you, Abel. I clipped the brake. 2 seconds. Okay, missed MT, doesn't matter. Yeah, like this. This is how you kind of want to snake once you're like reaching the higher levels. Like, towards the second half of that straight, particularly. Because even within the MT, you can still adjust the angle more or less. Like, I kind of do that usually. I kind of veer it towards the right. Oops. 2 seconds. So yeah. That was slower for me. It's probably just because you're not used to it. Like, the thing is as well, like, if you're not used to it, you might find that you're actually getting a wider line. Whereas, like, I'm sort of neutral hopping, but then I'm doing a tight angled, so that counteracts it. So, like, I turn a lot in the MT so that it keeps a tighter line, but neutral hopping, so you're less likely to lose speed. Yeah, it's all about just getting getting used to it. Really, it's just practice. I mean, that's a higher level skill. If you find it slower, don't do it for now. I just find it's much better for my lines. But yeah. But it also depends on the circumstances. Like, there are obviously places where you have to do a hard sort of directional hop. You just have to. For me, obviously, drift is slash drift, unless I need to go. Yeah. It's like, to an extent, it's a driving style thing as well. Some people have a slightly different approach, but yeah, I know I have the MT speed and skill to get like 118, but finishing runs is so hard. True. Last suggestion, I wouldn't do this unless you really have to, but Polt is always still an option. However, if you're good enough to get under 120, Polt is probably no longer better anyway. I mean, it's a much more efficient way to say it. Like, what, a neutral hopped MT Sasha drift sounds much easier to say. It just rolls off the tongue much better. It's basically the gist of it. I don't know if there's much more really to say, but it's mostly just those corners. Neutral drift. Well, kind of, but Sasha drift. Also because I don't want my boy Sasha to be forgotten. Egg probably better. No, I wouldn't. Neutral MT shorter. And yeah, I get Sasha drift's better. I like that. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I guess the main takeaway from this is, if you need to use handling, or if you think to yourself, I need to use handling on this corner, try a double hop instead, or like, as they were called in the day, a recovery hop. I don't know if people use that term, but like, to recover your line so you don't end up in the grass. So it's just like a double hop out. So like, you did one hop there like that. Do that instead if you have to. That would be my advice. So I expect you to get a 114 now. 114. Only joking. But I think that would definitely help improve a lot. Because like, a lot of overall MKDS skill is removing your handling as much as possible. Like, because that's where so much time is lost. Like, between MTs using the handling, you can just see, like, as your driving gets cleaner, there's much less handling and much less time between MTs generally. So like I say, once you fully learn this corner, you theoretically don't need any handling at all. Oh my goodness! That music! Oh, what was it? Was it not like a Spanish DJ or something? Had the sirens at the start. Oh my goodness, that was such a nostalgia hit right there. He had that on like half of his videos. The 114 will be in your desk by Friday. Good, what I like to see. Right, okay. That's enough of this, I think. I think we got the gist here.